Okay, so Chad, give us a brief synopsis of the 1970s. The kids are growing up and life's moving along, yeah?
Well, right, let's talk about the business side very quickly. Is that we computer resale brokers had backing from Ambrose Bank.
Right.
And we were very, very successful. We opened in 9 countries, offices.
Right.
All single man offices.
Right.
A man and a typist, and a secretary.
Mm.
And
yeah.
well, we acted as estate agents essentially for
second-hand computer
second-hand computers.
Right. And in those days, computers were quite big things, right?
Yeah, very big things.
Yeah.
But this all happened at the time that transistors were replaced by integrated circuit boards.
Right. So that was in the early 70s, late 60s, yeah.
And you know, Ambrose Bank did a silly thing, which I told them, is that the guy who started with me, they bought more shares from him. And when they did this, he had, in his eyes, he had achieved everything he wanted to achieve.
Right.
And he stopped working. To cut a long story short, he was fired.
Oh, okay. From his own company. Oh,
I became in charge.
Right.
And during a big business and was going down because he was interfering in everything and doing nothing positive.
Right. So when was that? In the mid-70s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we then had got Ambrose previously to start Europe's first independent maintenance firm.
Right. Amazing.
But I engineered a merger between the whole lot, and we became Computer World Trade.
Right.
Which had first in use computers, first in maintenance. We also had a time sharing bureau
for computers.
Yeah.
Computer time.
Yeah. And I also, which I was very keen on, was providing software.
Right.
Software broking.
Right.
And then, out of the blue, I was a powerful shareholder, but the guy, because we had had bad years, the guy from the maintenance had the most shares.
Right.
And completely out of the blue, he turned around and said, "I can't work with you, Chad, you've got to leave."
Oh, okay.
Without speaking to Ambrose. I mean, Ambrose disagreed.
Right.
Ambrose were disgusted. They liked me.
Yes.
Right? And they actually pulled out.
Wow.
And just gave the shares to the rest of the share company. And I had to leave. And with the maximum I could get. And I'm now doing nothing. As a result of that, I actually became a commodity broker for 2 years.
Oh, right.
And found it absolutely that fascinating.
Which years were they?
We did the softs and the
metals.
And the metals.
And did you go into the exchange?
Yeah.
To Fox?
It was a smallish company. You know, I did a bit of
London Metals Exchange, LME, right?
No, the LME. Yeah.
And the London Cocoa and Coffee Exchange.
Yeah, no, I did that. I went to both of them. Yeah.
And you used to trade in the pit?
Yeah.
Yes. Amazing. So, and did
I actually learned. I used to advise clients to go into doing what do they call straddles.
All right. So you were
buying in 1 month and selling in another month.
Oh, okay. Straddles on the different months.
And I was doing extremely well. I went away on holiday.
To Paris?
Well, I just was at one stage.
Yeah.
And the guy, I had a position there, and he went and he sold, because it goes temporarily wrong, you see, a straddle.
Yes.
And he panicked, and I couldn't do anything. He sold me all out at losses, and I lost a lot of money, which he should never have done, because you know, by the time I got back, it was
all done.
You know, I mean, it was stupid.
Mm.
But there's nothing I could do about it. Well, I then got fed up and I decided I wanted to get back to computing.
No.
And I started, well, also something new, and that was first company specialising in international recruitment of computer people, which I was this was my business, very successful. And then I was hit by a recession. And
was this in the early 80s?
Early 90s.
Oh, the early 90s?
Yeah.
Or the 80s?
No. Early 90s was the first time that there was recession in the computer industry.
Oh, right.
But I was actually, I'm just giving you the whole business thing,
yes.
Eventually saved by the date changes.
Oh, right.
I made a killing getting people in Italy to work in London.
What, for date changes for the year 2000 stuff?
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
so that sums up
no more business.
And then your career, and then you resigned. I mean, you retired.
I retired.
Right. And when do you retire?
Well, at the time I came.
Just after the millennium.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about the family in the years
the family was
1970 to 2000. That's a lot of time.
I think we were a very happy family. There was two very bright girls, and David, who unfortunately suffered from dyslexia, I think, and was not academically bright.
Yes.
And superb tennis player, in my opinion. And he wanted to become a professional.
Yes.
He wasn't quite good enough.
Right.
Had a breakdown.
And the girls and Addy.
Well, the girls, you know, when they go to university, went away. They both had very interesting ways of getting into Oxford.
Oh,
not the normal way. Neither of them getting normally.
How come?
Well, Brian started off, and she was bright, and we thought she would go to Oxford or Cambridge. But she came to me and she came to us and said, "No, I'd like to study English, and all the theatre and everything is in London.
Right.
So I'm not applying."
Right.
And she joined Queen Mary. She went to study English. You know, about a year later, she decided that no, she passed. Okay, she wanted now she wanted to go to Oxford. The whole reason was a boyfriend, actually, at the time, not.
When?
And she'd always, in her excuse, she'd given me all reasons why she shouldn't go to Oxford. All of a sudden, she said, "Who do you know at Oxford?" I said, you know, we had some good friends, and they advised her. They said, "Look, we suggest just go there and spend a week and go around speaking to all the colleges. You never know." And she went and she talked herself into a place at Wadham.
Right.
But she had very.
She does know how to talk.
She had very good.
She has good verbal skills.
She's got good verbal skills, and she also had good A levels to go with it.
Wonderful. Yes. And then Brianna, she went to Oxford as well?
No, that's Brianna.
So I mean Lalit, sorry.
Lalit is completely weak. Was a bright girl interested also in art and anything and English. But we came to the conclusion that she shouldn't try going to Oxford. She wasn't as bright as Brianna. This is our
opinion. Yeah.
But why should she struggle at Oxford when she would do very well at another university? And this has happened.
So where did she go?
Well, she was not in the. She was doing her A levels at Richmond College.
Oh yeah.
And she was not in the Oxford stream. But one day she comes around. She says, you know, I've heard that you can apply for going to Oxford, even if you haven't taken their A levels, a special exam, the Oxford exam. So I think this was meant to apply for elder students. You know, she went along to Oxford and to hear about it. And they said, well, why don't you try and write the exam? And 6 weeks before the exams were due to be written, she switched. And she actually, competing against people who spent 2 years preparation, and she did extremely well, went to an interview at Wadham and was accepted.
So was she there at the same time as Brianna?
No, Brianna just left.
Okay.
But this is the most fantastic achievement. And I think that when it comes to brain power, we were wrong about Lanit. She's a very, very bright girl. But she got in. Oh, incidentally, the Oxford and Cambridge had actually written to them. They had written to the the people at Richmond College.
Right.
Oh, it's not important. No, but they had told the people there that in their opinion, she should apply for a place.
Okay.
And they didn't even tell her. And they phoned me to say, why? Anna, where's your application?
Oh, gosh. Amazing.